You keep replying instantly, every single time, without hesitation. That is exactly why they stop valuing your time at all. Your availability is not kindness, no matter how you frame it. It is information, and they are quietly using it against you. Every time you drop everything for them without question, you teach the world, slowly and clearly, that your price is nothing. The most available person in the room is almost never the most respected one. Notice who commands attention and who simply waits. You think loyalty means being reachable at all hours of the day. They think it is weakness they can schedule around freely. Somewhere right now, in this exact moment, someone is quietly deciding how little effort you are actually worth to them. This is not about becoming cold or distant toward everyone. This is about surviving a world that studies your softness for weakness. If you finish listening to this, you will never answer a message the same careless way again. This is the truth no one ever warned you about growing up. Availability has a real price, and you have been paying it. People do not exploit your cruelty, because cruelty defends itself. They exploit your kindness, because kindness rarely fights back. Fairness feels noble, even righteous, when you practice it consistently. But fair people are predictable, and predictable people are easy to use. You answer every call. You explain every silence. You show up every time. And still, somehow, you are the one who gets accused. Honesty without boundaries is not virtue, no matter how good it feels. It is simply an open door they will always walk through. The world does not reward the most giving person in the room. It quietly rewards a person who knows exactly when to stop giving. Every time you forgive too quickly, without consequence or hesitation, someone learns they can hurt you again without cost. They are not confused about how you feel when they hurt you. They know exactly, precisely, how far they can push before you break. You think silence is weakness, something to fill and explain away. To them, your silence is the only thing they cannot manipulate. Every unanswered question you rush to explain in detail is a piece of power you quietly hand away. This is not paranoia, and it never was. This is pattern recognition, and the pattern has your name written all over it. The people closest to you learn your limits the fastest of anyone. That is exactly why boundaries matter most with them. You were taught that good people always finish last in life. No, available people finish last. There's a real difference. Somewhere in your life, right now, someone is quietly grateful you have not yet learned this lesson. The next voice you hear studied power, silence, and human nature for a moment exactly like this one. Listen carefully. Centuries ago, one mind studied power, silence, and human weakness far more coldly than almost anyone since. He was not writing gentle self-help for comfortable people. He was writing survival for those who refuse to be used. Balthasar Gracian watched royal courts, kings, and betrayals unfold for years, and wrote down precisely what softness always cost a person. He warned, in his own writing, that showing your wound is an open invitation for the world to strike it. In his own words, written centuries ago, do not show your wounded finger, for everything will knock up against it. He did not mean you should hide your pain forever from everyone. He meant do not hand it freely to strangers. Availability, to him, was never generosity at all. It was a map handed directly to anyone who wished you harm. He believed the wise reveal themselves slowly, deliberately, like a fortress opening its gates only when it chooses to. His warning was never about becoming heartless or distant forever. It was about becoming impossible for anyone to exploit. There was an exact moment, a specific night, when they stopped respecting you. You just never noticed it happening at the time. It was the night you canceled your own plans for the third time, just to be there the moment they called. Respect is not lost through one dramatic conflict or fight. It is lost quietly, one convenient sacrifice at a time, unnoticed. In every workplace, every friendship, every relationship you will ever have, the same rule applies without exception. Ease breeds carelessness. You gave your time freely, so freely and so often that it stopped feeling like a gift and slowly became an expectation. Drop this in the comments right now, exactly as it is written. I will stop giving what is never appreciated. Every single yes you give without a moment of thought quietly announces that your no does not really exist to them. People eventually stop asking whether you are able to help They simply start assuming you are obligated to say yes. The friend who always shows up every single time without fail gets remembered last because showing up became expected, never valued. This is a distinctly modern trap that most people never notice. Instant replies, constant presence, endless yes. It quietly destroys your value. The real shift begins the day you pause before answering and let a little silence do some of the work for you. Saying no is never rejection of them personally. It is protection of the only resource you can never replace again. Emotional distance is not coldness, no matter what it looks like on the outside. It is a space where your judgment finally becomes clear. The moment you genuinely stop needing their approval, their behavior toward you changes almost instantly, without you saying a single word. Distance forces people to reveal exactly who they really are, because performance is exhausting to maintain without an audience watching. You do not owe anyone constant access to your thoughts, your time, or your emotional labor, no matter how close they are. Drop this in the comments right now, exactly as it is written. My distance is not punishment. IT is protection. The people who are worth keeping in your life will respect the space you create. The rest will expose themselves by resenting it. Instant replies do not actually prove that you care about someone. They simply prove you have nothing else commanding your attention right now. Every immediate response you give teaches the sender, without a single word, that your time carries no weight, no cost, no value. A short delay before responding is not disrespect toward anyone. It is a quiet signal that your attention is not free for everyone. Watch how differently people begin to treat the one who stays calm, unhurried, and never chases a reply back from anyone. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction, and it always has been. Every extra sentence you add while defending yourself quietly signals that you believe, deep down, you owe someone an explanation. The truly confident do not perform their innocence for an audience. They state their position once, and let silence finish the rest. Over-explaining does not actually build trust the way you think it does. It builds an opening for others to interrogate you further. Say less than you want to, mean more than you say. Let your actions carry the weight your words were never meant to carry. Drop this in the comments right now, exactly as it is written. I no longer explain myself to people who did not ask. There is a quiet power in the hours when no one can find you at all. That power disappears the moment you are always on. Being unreachable sometimes is not neglect toward the people you love. It is a boundary that teaches people a patience they never had. The people who genuinely matter to you will wait, without complaint. The people who only want a convenience will disappear the moment you do. You are not a customer service line available to everyone at once. You are not required to be reachable around the clock, ever. Reclaim your hours, deliberately and without guilt. Reclaim your silence. What you protect always becomes more valuable than what you give away freely. Scarcity is not manipulation, no matter what people assume about it. It is simply the truth that nothing infinite is ever treated as precious. When you are endlessly available to everyone around you, they never once feared losing you. Fear, quietly, is what earns real respect. You do not need to disappear from everyone forever. You only need to prove, once, that you are fully capable of it. Every single person who has ever held real, lasting power understood one unshakable rule. Presence must be earned and never simply assumed. Drop this in the comments right now, exactly as it is written. My time is not free anymore. The version of you that answered every single call at midnight is not coming back to save anyone. And that is entirely correct. This is not about becoming unreachable to every single person in your life. It is about deciding who genuinely earns your reach at all. The friend who vanished the moment you stopped chasing them was never truly your friend. They were only ever your audience. What remains after you stop performing availability for everyone watching is smaller, quieter, and infinitely more honest than what came before. You will lose people who only ever valued your convenience and nothing more. Let them go completely. That is not a real loss. What is left standing after that loss is the version of you that finally commands a room quietly without ever trying to. Something in you has already shifted. Somewhere deep, whether you have noticed it or not. You can feel it in how tired you are of explaining yourself constantly. The old you is dead. You are no longer the one who waits by the door, silently hoping desperately to finally be chosen by someone else. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future, deliberately, for the very first time in your life. Every single boundary you now hold firmly in place is a wall someone once tried to walk straight through without asking. You belong to no one, not to your inbox, buzzing endlessly through the night, not to their expectations, not to the version of you that once begged quietly to be needed. What you protect now, carefully and deliberately, is not selfishness at all. It is the last resource they can never take from you. This is not the end of caring about the people in your life. It is the beginning of caring entirely on your own terms. If this reached you tonight, exactly when you needed it, you are not looking for motivation. You are looking for real awareness. There is a quiet circle of people out there who no longer explain, chase, or perform availability for anyone. Join them here. Subscribing here is not really about a channel or a number. It is about choosing awareness over old, exhausted habits you carried for years. You already know one person in your life, right now, who takes your availability completely for granted. You know exactly who. Here is your question to sit with tonight. What would change in your entire life if you simply stopped being so easy to reach?